Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about one of the most tragic love stories in entire fiction. Eren Yeager and Mikasa Ackerman. How their love began, how it continued, and how it ended. Meanwhile, I'll be painting a digital painting of both of them with the camera trend. Although I'm not sure it's a trend anymore, I'm a bit late. But let's not talk anymore and let's get started. Eren and Mikasa are genuinely one of the best love stories ever written. How they met, how their relationship carried on, and how it ended. Only in one of their first ever encounters, Eren saves Mikasa's life from people who killed her parents. He didn't know who she was very well, hadn't talked to her more than 2 words, but he was willing to risk it all for her. Mikasa fell in love with him right from that moment, and his effects on her were so strong that her Ackerman powers were activated. When they were sitting outside next to a fire, Eren wrapped a red scarf around her neck to keep her from the cold, the symbol of their love, something Mikasa kept since that day and died still wearing it. From that day on, Mikasa stayed with him, protected Eren from his stupid actions and the troubles he got himself into. She tried to stop Eren from joining the survey groups, and when he insisted on doing so, she followed him. She helped every step of the way. She even cut her hair short because he said so. As a girl with long hair, I can promise you cutting your hair short is not an easy thing. Mikasa never hesitated in risking her life for Eren. She was there for him every step of the way. He was there for her every step of the way as well. But the hands of the faith kept pulling them apart. Mikasa wanted a life with Eren, but Eren had his own dreams, his own world, which kept pulling him away from Mikasa until they were too far away. Eren's fate didn't include her as a lover, but as an enemy. And in the end, she was forced to kill him. I know we all cried when Mikasa kissed Eren's cut-off head, watching them grow up together and getting closer. The more story continued left such impact on the audience, watching how every time they came close to telling each other about their feelings, something happened to keep them apart. Waiting the whole show for them to finally confess and reach each other, but at the end, seeing them lose to the destiny, it was like a war between Eren and Mikasa and destiny, and we were waiting to see them overcome it and build their own life, but destiny won. Perhaps one of the reasons that this happened was their differences. Eren and Mikasa had completely different personalities. Mikasa never had that passion and willpower that Eren owned. Mikasa was always a quiet girl, didn't want to go after adventure, didn't want to be a hero or a villain or anything. She just wanted a peaceful life with the man she loved, Eren. But Eren always possessed a passion, a need to see and have more than what he already had. To make a change in the world, even if that meant sacrificing the things he already had. This difference always kept them apart. Eren was too busy exploring his own desires and the new world he was seeing to notice Mikasa's love. And Mikasa was too shy to confess. Perhaps she felt she would ruin things that way. But the more they went on, the more Eren was pulled away due to his desires and new position. And Mikasa was just a soldier following Eren's role in the story. But it was always obvious that they loved each other. The childhood they spent together, the lingering looks they gave each other, how worried Mikasa always was about Eren, the small scenes that didn't hold anything specific. But that was enough to make a point. And Mikasa even confessed her feelings to Eren. Most of the show, we see Mikasa confessing and showing signs to Eren, but Eren always loved Mikasa in his own way. Even before he was born, he told a person a generation before him to tell his father that he should protect Mikasa.
みんなを救いたいなら使命を全うしろ。ミカサ？アルミ？誰のことだ？さあ、わからない。誰の記憶だろう。
One of Eren's main motives for doing the rumbling was to keep Mikasa and his friends safe. Eren admitted himself at the end that he loved Mikasa and doesn't want her to meet another man for at least 10 years.
そんなのやだ。ミカサに男ができるなんて一生俺だけを思っててほしい。俺が死んだ後もしばらく10年以上は引きずっててほしい。
And she did actually do that. In the outro, if we count the seasons that pass by, it's 10 years pass until we see Mikasa coming to Eren's grave with her child. Eren always cared and loved Mikasa, but his duties and the knowledge he had kept him apart. No, he kept himself apart actually, because he knew that Mikasa would only get hurt by his side. They loved each other, but too afraid to confess it, too afraid to ruin things. Mikasa didn't confess because she thought they still had enough time and she could do it later when things are peaceful. But Eren didn't confess because he knew they didn't have enough time anymore and there was no time to be together. We can see that if they had confessed to each other, in an alternative world, they would have run away together and lived somewhere far away with no one but them.
にはヒストリアを地獄に落として永遠の殺し合いをすることも島の外の人間を大虐殺することもできなかった。それならもうあと4年の余生を静かに生きよう。誰もいないところで2人だけで。そう言ってくれたのはミカさん、お前じゃないか。
Although I believe Eren would have done that even if Mikasa had confessed, because as it was said, Eren wasn't meant to do that. There was no other choice. He couldn't have done something else. He was forced to, and he had to do it to protect his friends. But I think in his mind that was something that Eren wished upon. It was something that he imagined, to run away with Mikasa and leave it all behind, let go of the madness that he never asked for, and live with that one person he had actually asked for. But the weight of the world and duties always kept them apart. Eren knew he had no choice but to do this, for the greater good, for protecting his friends, for taking revenge, for the prophecy, whatever, he had to do it. And that meant he could never have Mikasa. He knew that since a long time ago. So he kept making distance between them, hoping she would forget him or hate him, but she didn't. Mikasa loved Eren, until the moment she died and she was buried with that scarf, the symbol of their love. But duties kept her away as well. Between killing Titans and Eren becoming an important person, she didn't know when and how to show her emotions, how to confess her feelings. And is it even right to do that? Despite her love for Eren, she put humanity and her duties to protect first, and kept protecting even if that meant killing the person she always had loved. Even the writer himself knew they should reach each other, but he was too ashamed to draw a kiss scene in this chapter, so he didn't. Eren and Mikasa were always meant to be, but they were constantly pulled away by the hands they couldn't control, like this fan art. But the truth never changes. Mikasa always loved Eren, and as Zeke said, she would do anything for him.
ただお前のためなら巨人をひねり殺せるくらい。
And Eren loved her so much that even before he was born, he was protecting her. From him 1000 years ago to now 1000 years later, and even 1000 years more, or even after his death, Eren will always love Mikasa, and Mikasa will always love him. Honestly, I still get sad sometimes when I remember them, especially when I remember this song. I wish there was a world they could finally reach each other and be happy. Hopefully they will do that in the future through their reincarnations and wish their dream, and our dream of course. But what do you think? Tell me your opinion in the comments, and I hope you like this video and the painting, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!